Hello, Nico. I appreciate your commentary there, as I always do. You and Kevin, and so many others put great things, but you're more responsive, and Kevin are always putting things out there. I want to play this audio file. I received it from exposing an impropriety in 2019. Yes. You will see it in this presentation for you. I want to make you informed about this, but this is the American National Standards Institute at its most wondrous point. I'm going to play it first. We have the gentleman here. I got him out of Washington. That's where I think he hangs out. Mr. Russ Chaney. And on this date, this is 2019. You're probably saying it's 5 years ago. But you know something? In 2022, I will say this. I put in a 54-page document with 16 letters of recommendation. Okay, Nico? 16 letters of recommendation. I had to answer 9 questions. One of the worst things is that after you listen to this audio file that he left me exposing that impropriety in laboratory accreditation, you can see that he was the nominating chairman of ANSI. So we're going to continue and say this, that since he is the chairman, you have guys like here, Jim Tassett, David Calhoun, his people sit on the ANSI board, which is very disgusting, to tell you the truth, because as a chairman, the board members take the slings and arrows of what that guy says. So I'm going to play it for you. And he said, half a nut fuck you to me.
This is Russ Chaney. Please leave a message and I'll return your call as soon as possible.
Record your...
Now we're going to get into this. Joe Battia, who's the CEO of ANSI, I sent a letter to, he sent it off to his attorney. You're going to see all this stuff. I want to make this, try to shorten it up, but you really can't when you're exposing this mess. And this is what type of organization that ANSI-ANAB gets shoved down the throats of every supplier and subcontractor, and that's what type of animals they've got on board. He's the chairman. But this guy is retiring in December. He should be hung before that. Honestly, hung out to dry. I shouldn't say that. That's not politically correct. So he should retire. That's more like it. There you go. Let me just say this. And by the way, if that's, how should we say, if that's defamation, I could tell you what defamation is. When this motherfucker called me, by the way, motherfucker is a quality term. He knows nothing about quality. But he was making $350,000. There, that's how much he was making tax-free, Nico. Right there, sitting on the board. Let's continue. Motherfucker is a term. He should call up his wife, and the lawyer, Jameson Carroll of Carroll and Weiss, should do the same thing for his wife. So this is what he said to the Association of Manufacturers. By the way, the Association of Equipment Manufacturers is a member on ANSI-ANAB's board. Would you really want to have your competitor dictate the future of how you do business? And that competitor could be somebody not just from the U.S., but somebody from China. And remember, in 2016, the IAF, which was founded by ANSI, and ANAB, was handed over to a communist Chinese national. So right over there, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Just several months later, in August, he said, would you really want to have your competitor dictate the future of how you do business? You need to be engaged. And that was for ANSI. You know, I corroborated what Sam Salipur was saying on April 17th of 2024. I have all the documentation that proves without a shadow of a doubt he is correct. You have ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, is a private, not-for-profit, non-governmental corporation that has federal agencies and corporations on board. And here's this, you know about this, about Randy Doherty handing over the IF to this communist Chinese national who at the same time was the chief executive of the China National Accreditation Services, who gave a certificate, who issued a certificate to an ill-prepared Wuhan, China lab, BioLevel 4, that released a COVID virus. You have ANSI, who took over complete control over ANAB in 2018, and here they are. And remember this, ANSI-ANAB are underwriters for the International Accreditation Form, which they sat on, or sits on, And at the time, they had both federal agencies and corporations on board. So they are underwriters and also their sister organization, ILAC, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation. This shows unequivocally that ANSI is the founding member. It states it. You can stop the video. And here's this. Now we get into the fruit and nuts of this mess. We have Boeing that sits on there, of course, on their accreditation body, bringing constriction to the world of quality. We have the Federal Aviation Administration, who in 2009 gave Federal Aviation Authority to Boeing. They didn't have to say anything about the MCAS system or new product designs, and it's a fact. So when you hear the DOJ say that Boeing lied to the FAA, they were the FAA, for God's sake, man. U.S. Transportation is on board. These guys are on the board of the accreditation body that Boeing uses, the Department of Justice. That's nice. And of course, Homeland Security, where I was standing up. They too pay a fee to be a member on the accreditation body, ANSI-ANAB, of Boeing. This is what I did. I exposed a factor, Nico, of A2LA, impropriety. They're sitting on ANSI's board, all the rest of this, and they're also sitting on the IAF. They're sitting on the IAF at the time. And I had a person call me up. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to read it to you. It says, A2LA does not sit on ANSI. They are both American accreditation bodies with equal standing. Well, as I showed you, Nico, you did see that A2LA, and here it is, A2LA sits on ANSI's board. Is it true? It is true. So I did that. So what happened is Russ Chaney called me on that date I showed you on the 29th. I'm going to play this again for you so that you can get the full effect of it, because it's absolutely unbelievable. And here it is.
This is Russ Chaney. Please leave a message and I'll return your call as